Good evening, good evening, good evening to you. My name is Susan from Phoenix Wisdom Healing, and today I wanted to bring to you some information and have a conversation around feelings of loss and abandonment and grief and how that feels, in particular when you've experienced an unexpected loss and how that can make you feel. In particular, when you are on a twin flame journey, as I am myself, when you experience something that is unexpected, it can actually send you in a great big soul shock. It can actually immobilize you to a point where nothing makes sense anymore. Nothing makes sense anymore. Nothing you do makes sense anymore. You feel completely alienated from who you were. You feel completely alienated from what you were doing. And you just don't quite know where to begin. It feels overwhelming. Grief is very much a common theme that all of us experience. And basically what happens is, yes, there are stages of grief that one experiences. And those stages are common with all of us in how we do grieve. And, there's about, 5 stages of grief. There's, there's shock, there's denial, there's anger, there's where you internalize it. There's depression. There is negotiation, where you start to negotiate and try to bargain that you're not going to experience the loss. Loss is never easy. It's a very uncomfortable place to be. And in actual fact, when you are at a place of loss, you are at your most vulnerable. And for many people, it's not an easy place to be because it feels extremely uncomfortable. You feel extremely exposed and you feel completely alien to everybody else because it's almost like you're the only one experiencing it. And basically, how could anybody else understand? Of course, we live in a society, and I call it Western society, where basically I do not believe that grief is supported, in as much as I also don't believe that to display our emotions is supported. There is almost like this stiff upper lip, this mentality to dust yourself down, to dust yourself down, to wipe your tears and just get on with it, and don't give too much credence to the feelings associated with your loss. That in itself is difficult. That in itself is really challenging, because when you do not allow yourself or give yourself space to grieve and to actually feel what you feel, and you squash those feelings down, they then get held in the body. And then what happens is you end up holding on to that pain, and it does more damage. So one of the things that I was going to do today was have a conversation around grief, have a conversation around feelings, and have a conversation around things. And also, I also do oracle readings, and I like to mix, my wisdom of loss, and also I like to mix my spirituality in terms of my oracle readings as well. So what I will do throughout the video is give you some healing messages to be able to support you should you be unfortunate in feeling a sense of loss due to a shock that you weren't expecting, something coming to a natural end. And remember, those things coming to a natural end can sometimes be a loss of a cycle where you have changed. You're no longer that person anymore. And you have to then adjust to the change, and then you have to adjust to who you are slowly emerging to become. Not always easy. And as I said already, and as I've touched base in the video already, We are not supported through Western values and ways of really getting in touch with our grief. We are encouraged not to do so. And we are encouraged to shy away from it and to use toxic positivity as a sticking plaster, as a means to bypass any feelings, just so that you do not allow yourself to sit with the grief, because it will take too much time or it will be too difficult. But in actual fact, the truth is, the only way that you can ever heal from something is if you allow your body and your mind and your spirit a space to go into feeling it. So then you can transmute the feelings and you can transcend the feelings and learn from what it's teaching you and be able to then grow and evolve from it. Hence the name Phoenix Wisdom Healing. So what I wanted to do now, if you're on a twin flame journey, one of the challenges that does transpire is basically you may have been experiencing feelings of being ghosted, and you may have experienced feelings of being stonewalled, and you yourself may even be doing that because the relationship and the connection has brought up some very deep challenges of pain for you. And the only way that you can go through it is to allow yourself to create a bit of a barrier and a bit of distance so that you can work on your own healing. It's not easy. It's not for the faint-hearted. And it is not for those who are not willing to put in the work, the soul work, to be able to give you the capacity to gain your own individual identity. Because this is what the twin flame journey is about, giving you the space and the soul growth opportunity to enable you to gain your individual unique identity, to evolve and grow from your traumas, from your pain, from your unresolved issues, and anything that may have been sitting around in your soul for many years. It is a journey to oneness of yourself. It is a journey of a oneness to yourself, to find yourself as a whole. Slowly, tentatively, tenaciously, with discipline and with determination and with courage. If you've been ghosted on a twin flame journey and suddenly you have felt a feeling of complete and utter loss from a point of view from shock, what that's actually teaching you is to actually transcend through darkness, through a dark night of your soul, to actually rise up from the darkness to find your light. It is painful, it hurts, it makes you feel absolutely rotten, it makes you feel vulnerable, it makes you feel scared, it raises its ugly head of insecurities and fears, and all those feelings are valid as part of your grief. But what you're actually doing is you're allowing the old person, the old ego self of you, to literally start the journey of dying. So what I will do, what I have done, is I've written some of my own keynotes as well as some of my own oracle cards. And what I hope to do on this healing journey of Phoenix Wisdom Healing is to be able to support you with some simple, small messages that can encourage you to find a solution, not to take away the feelings that you're feeling, not to diminish the feelings that you're feeling, not to lessen the feelings that you're feeling, but to give you a sense of support and a sense of hope in the journey to healing your grief pain and your feelings of loss. And so what I thought I would do is, I've got some cards here that I've written out, and I thought I would just give some very succinct messages. And just to say, I do actually, let me see if I can find it. I do actually have a counselling practice. So I do support people through their loss and their grief. And that is my business card. And it's called Phoenix Wisdom Counselling. And it is supporting your loss, supporting you through loss and grief. It supports all sorts of things. And basically in my own journey of the twin flame journey, I have been confronted with repetitive patterns of feeling rejected and abandoned, which has formed a great deal as part of my life journey. And I've had to adjust and learn to adjust my sails and learn to manage my emotions associated with sudden and unexpected loss. To say it has been a journey is an understatement. To say it's been a journey is an understatement. And right now, as I speak with you, I am in a huge transition. There are a couple of other things that I would like to share with you. In particular, in numerology, we all survive in our soul level for a 9-year cycle throughout our growth cycle. So for each year, so we've got 9-year cycles, and then each cycle, like cycle 1, cycle 2, cycle 3, cycle 4, cycle 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, all signify something that you will be working towards on a soul level in order for you to be able to evolve, grow, and turn your lessons into blessings. And just to share, excuse me a moment, I'm just going to get some water. Excuse me. And just to share with you, I am currently in a personal year number 9, which pertains to the astrological sign of Scorpio, which coincidentally actually is very much the sign of the phoenix rising from the ashes. And basically, when you get to a personal year number 9, what happens is it means that you come to the end of your 9-year cycle, and you are going to carry forward what you have learned for the last 8 years. And then the following year will be a year number 1, which starts a brand new 9-year cycle. Huge, huge. Not to mention that all of us go through cycles on a regular basis, cycles of death and rebirth on a regular basis. And what happens is, I always liken the positivity of that in looking at how the seasons teach us how to grow and let go. Because if you look at the seasons, you've got spring, you've got summer, you've got, winter, and you've got autumn. Each of those seasons go through a cycle of change. And if we were to really take note of those seasons and what happens in those seasons, what actually takes place is we are able to really witness just what the seasons do in order to process and progress through those changes. And that's what we do on a soul level. So for every year, in accordance with your birthday, you have a personal year that you're going to be, working towards in terms of your soul growth. So the year 9 pertains to endings and completions. So what I thought I would do is I would touch base with some healing messages. And basically, if you're feeling particularly overwhelmed in your grief at the moment through your unexpected loss and change that has literally thrown you off balance, literally broken and shaken all the foundations of what you thought was and now isn't, it is so hard. It's painful. It hurts. Allow it to hurt. Allow yourself to go through it. Allow yourself to feel it. Don't resist it, because if you do, what will happen is it will come back and it will bite you. And sometimes it's even worse. There's a saying. There's two things. I learned that a no is not a rejection, but simply put, it is a cosmic redirection. Something to think about. Yeah, something to think about. Also, sometimes when we don't take control of something that needs to change, the universe will step in and bring the whole illusion and false foundation down to shake the foundations up, to support you to recreate a stronger, healthier, better foundation. And that foundation starts with you. Yes, you, nobody else but you. Anyway, so I thought, just written some things. There you go. And the card that I've written or pulled is the universe is supporting your dreams. So if you've got anything in particular that you're really wishing for and hoping for, you have to bring yourself in alignment. You have to bring yourself in alignment to be able to get that dream that you so wish for to come to fruition. Slowly, slowly. Rome was never built in a day. Anyway, so basically, I'm also drawn to pulling a card in relation to the chakras. Now, when you've got 7 chakras, and each chakra represents something. And sometimes we need to look at balancing ourselves in terms of healing our chakras and trying to bring those in alignment, especially where we're a little bit out of balance. And you can gain that support and wisdom and knowledge through seeking a reputable Reiki healer, or even you can slowly, tentatively learn to do it yourself. And as I talk about this, I am drawn to the card, the crown chakra, which is spirituality, knowing who you are and letting go, enlightenment and awareness. And it pertains to the number 7, which is a very spiritual, high vibrational number in terms of inner reflection, seeking truth and going inward. So that's it. It relates to time and space, and it's encouraging you to live in the present moment. Even if you are in grief, it's very, 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 very important to live in each moment, in your pain, in your grief. Don't try to run before you can walk. Take each day as it comes. If you get a good day, embrace the good day. If you get a bad day, embrace the bad day. If the tears need to flow and they are literally pouring down your face with snot hanging out of your face, just let it go, let it flow. That is what is going to support you in your healing. That is what's going to help. It will help. Tears are cathartic. Tears are cleansing. Tears are the liquid emotions that the heart, at times, cannot speak. I'm also drawn to looking at some crystals that are pertaining to healing. Crystals are amazing things. They are raw, minerals, rocks from Mother Nature. Mother Nature is one of the biggest gifts for healing. Today, I was afforded the luxury of sitting out in nature whilst I waited for somebody to finish from their appointment. And it was the most magical healing gift that I could have been given in that moment. And I was so grateful for that. So anyway, let's draw something in terms of what crystal might be good on this particular full moon day, which is an eclipse in Sagittarius. There's so much going on energetically wise. There's the eclipse moon. We've got Pluto retrograde. We've got a Mercury retrograde coming up very soon. The energies are intense. So it's really, really important in your pain, in your grief, that you keep yourself grounded. You keep yourself rooted like a very, very strong oak tree. And basically, I was drawn to it earlier. And the crystal that I have been encouraged to share with you is called Apache Tear. And that pertains to the root chakra and the third eye. So that's a really good crystal to be able to utilize, especially when you're in grief. I'm just going to drink some water, excuse me. It's hard work, this talking. Although I do like to talk, I do like to communicate, but it is hard work. Right, okay. So basically, what I'm also going to be saying is I'm going to give you some other messages, and then what I'll do is sign off and let you know at the end exactly what I do and what I'm going to be doing on the videos to share with you towards healing and towards supporting you to learn to become your very, very own phoenix who rises from the ashes, from your darkness. The darkness is where there are beautiful, beautiful pearls of light. There is so much that you can gain in the darkness. And once you get through it and you transcend and you flow through it and you allow yourself to go through it, once you start reaching towards the light, it can be in a beautiful place. And the wisdom that you come out with after the event is amazing. I am on my twin flame journey, and I have been dealing with my own issues pertaining to repeated patterns of rejection and abandonment, which I've identified most of my life. I am not sure if there is a symbolism, but I'm going to suggest that it might be something for you to reflect upon and look at. If you've got the sign of Scorpio or Pluto in the 8th astrological house, please, in your astrology chart, and you recognize within you that you've had repeated patterns of sudden unexpected change, of being connected with somebody on an intimate basis, and that doesn't always mean about sex, although the 8th astrological house does pertain to death, rebirth, sex, and other people's resources, but their connections take many forms. It's not always just about the sex. But if you have had a connection with somebody and you suddenly find it's intense, it's powerful, it's beautiful, it's all consuming, it feels so beautiful, and then suddenly, just as quick as it starts, it goes. Have a look in your astrological house to see if you've got anything to do with Scorpio and to do with anything in the 8th astrological house. I have. And I have continued to work through learning to navigate my cells in continuing to be a continuous, evolving, growing phoenix who rises from the ashes. So the message is, basically, I will do this. So let's see what it says. Okay, right. The card that came up is talent. Talent comes in many forms. Talent is vast. And it pertains to a number 2. Now, once again, I'm a mix of astrology, I'm a mix of numerology, I'm a mix of soul wisdom, I'm a mix of life wisdom, and I culminate and bring the whole lot together. It makes it, variety is the spice of life. And you know what? We can never, ever be tired of wisdom and knowledge, because knowledge is power. Talent. And basically it says you have everything you need to succeed. You can do this. And this is card number 2, which is a feminine principle, but it also pertains to duality and cooperation and maximizing and bringing into union your masculine and your feminine energies. Very good place to be. Masculine and feminine energies and balancing them so that you are balanced. So important, especially when you're going through such a lot, when you're going through such an awful lot. It is really important. And basically, I thought I would draw some sort of surrender cards. One of the biggest things that you need to do when you are going through a grief period and a painful period and a heartbreak period is to learn how to surrender. So I thought that I would see what the surrender message is to support you with what you may be going through right now. Okay, the card that has been drawn to spiritually is stubbornness. Stubbornness. We all have an innate stubbornness. We, as spiritual beings having a human experience, are stubborn because we're set in our ways. We don't actually like change. We need to change, but we don't actually like it because it's cozier to a degree to stay in comfort and to stay in our comfort zone because it's safer, it's security, it's cozier, it's less fractious. And basically, you're being called to surrender to stubbornness. If you're tensing up or taking a rigid stance about something, gently observe yourself and become more yielding. This will help you communicate more lovingly with others and yourself. And remember, if you are on your twin flame journey, one of the biggest things is of the ego dissolution that you have to experience and go through. Because what it's going to do is break down everything that you thought was to help you to create everything that you think, that everything that is. And it will be completely different. Completely different. You, out of the phoenix, rising from the ashes, from the darkness that into the light, you will emerge differently. You will be wiser. You will be stronger. You will not repeat, if you learn the lesson well, what you have walked through. How powerful is that? And basically, I thought I would do this. And then very soon I shall end and then I'll be back on tomorrow. So you are being encouraged. I've just given you the surrender message, but this one is the let go message. The let go. And also I wanted to mention, not only just if you're in a twin flame relationship, but if you're in a karmic relationship, that actually brings up some real painful things for you to deal with as well. All of it is for your soul growth. All of it is to support you to grow, evolve, change, and break outdated, outworn patterns of belief systems and behaviours that will no longer support you to grow and evolve and serve your greater purpose. So today's message of letting go is to release fear. Release fear. Release fear. It says, today I will ask God to help me let go of my need to be afraid. Let go of fear. Fear is false evidence appearing real. It's in one's mind. It's in one's head. It's not actually there. The, the fear is bigger than the actual doing. I welcome peace, trust, acceptance, and safety into my life. I will make a point of listening to my healthy, rational fears, and will relinquish all the others. Powerful stuff, powerful stuff. And then finally, well, 2 more, and then I'm going to close off. Basically, the little message of let go, and then I'm going to give you a little message of what divine door you're going to be walking through. And then I do cover grief. I do grief counselling, and I support people through grief and loss. But I wanted to give messages of healing and messages of hope to a woman, a phoenix, who has continuously risen from the ashes and who now wants to support the collective to rise through their ashes and to be able to grow and evolve to your greatest and highest growth and your potential, because you have it within you. So basically, the message of let go is let all distractions float by and concentrate on the things that you really want. Try not to keep focusing on the things that you don't want, because if you focus on what you don't want, what is going to happen is you will create more of what you don't want rather than what you do want. Makes sense? Law of attraction. Lastly, the message from the divine doors in terms of the collective message of what you can expect to go through once you take note of the messages. Should you choose, free will is here. If you choose, not forcing anybody to take any advice, it's free will. It's whether it resonates and whether it makes sense. It has to make sense for you, otherwise the change just doesn't happen. So let's see what it says for the divine doors. Wow, the message. Draw down the moon. We are in an eclipse moon today in Sagittarius. Draw down the moon. The forest nymphs dance in sheer delight, singing soft songs. Find us in the wild. Good night. Use the power of the moon to help you heal. When you've got a full moon, that's a time to let go. When you've got a new moon, that is a time to set new intentions. Utilize Mother Nature. Utilize the moon and its energy to be able to support you to heal. And lastly, I've said it so many times, but where is it? Let's have a look. Where is it? Okay, right. Okay, I'm not sure where that is. Bear with me for a minute. Bear with me if I can find it. If not, then I'll do it another day. No, I might have to do it another day. Well, okay. Lastly, the most important thing when you are experiencing loss, heartbreak, the loss of something that's important to you, the loss of somebody that you love, the loss of a feeling of identity, a loss of when you're going through an awakening, which breaks down everything that you thought you knew to look different and feel different. The most important thing that's important for you to do for yourself is to give yourself the compassion that you may so readily give others, and to take one day at a time, slowly, diligently, tentatively, and from an aspect of self-love, that you love yourself enough to be compassionate enough with yourself and others in the same principle, whilst you heal what hurts your heart. Grief hurts. Loss hurts. One of the most difficult things is to lose somebody that you love. And 1 minute they're there and the next minute they're gone. It hurts. Allow it to hurt. Allow yourself to feel it. Because only when you feel it Can you heal it? My name is Susan Lawrence, and I am from Phoenix Wisdom Counselling. If anybody wants to get in touch, please drop me a message. The email should be on my account, on my YouTube account. I hope that you've taken something from this healing message today. And remember, each day is different, and take it as it comes. With love and beautiful blessings. And thank you for taking the time to tune in and listen.